Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Animac here from Animac Pro. Welcome to the One Piece version. We are back, and we are discussing 3 of possibly the craziest chapters of all time in One Piece. Chapters 1044 through 1046. Joining me today, I got Briggs.
Yo!
I got Gozen.
What up?
Nux is not here, but we got Tekking 101 in the house.
I guess I'm second as good as Nux. How you guys doing?
You're like Nux, but more well-informed.
I suppose.
And can quote chapters.
And I could quote
without
chapters.
looking it up,
That's what I'm
which
good
is
for. Yeah.
just fucking insane.
And also, Quite is here. Quite,
For some reason.
Yeah, Quite just popped in to say that he's not caught up to One Piece, but he wants to learn. So
He wants to be spoiled. So
I didn't say anything about learning, but I will listen.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Quite is just desperate for content while he does other things.
You just
I'm
gotta
desperate for
understand.
company. I'm
You
very
just want to
lonely.
know. You want to know one of the secrets of One Piece? I'll tell you right now. It's not hard. Oda loves puns. So just think of everything in the context of a bad dad joke or a pun, and that'll pretty much get you where you need to be in One Piece.
Okay.
I mean, that is a really good point, to be honest, because
Yeah.
he loves memes. He
loves that
fun.
shit. Yeah.
you're saying Luffy is the actual son of a god.
I love how
He
like
could be at this point. See, that would be something that would make sense for him, I think.
guys.
Jesus powers, baby. Jesus powers.
The community takes this shit so seriously with all their theories and like analyzing everything, and Oda's just like Luffy go bruh.
Yeah, man.
I liked it. You know, a lot of
I
people
loved it.
didn't. I loved it. I think it fits his personality perfectly, to be honest with you.
It does.
All right, boys. So where we ended off at the last chapter. I'm trying to remember what the chapter was. 1043, the final panel. You see
Yep.
Luffy face down, smile on his face. His rubber kind of melting, kind of like whatever, like forming a weird like fucking
Resin. It forms resin.
Yes, there we go.
I hated that theory, bro.
No, I just heard that word so much in the span of like 2 weeks, because this was a break in between 43 and 44. That was a 2-week break. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would just be the most anticlimactic shit.
I know it's like he's advancing to this new amazing power. It's like, oh, it's just like a slightly different form of rubber, guys. You know,
But go ahead, Briggs.
Oh no, I'm just saying he's got a smile on his face. His rubber's melting. We thought like people thought he died because his voice of all things, whatever, disappeared. And
yeah, and his heart stopped. We also have to
Maybe
remember
he
his heart.
did die.
I
His
think
heart
Luffy
actually
straight up
stopped.
died for like a minute or so
Yeah?
there.
Yeah.
I think he did, yeah.
His
that
heart
was like the
stops.
unlock.
His
Go ahead.
heart stops, and then it starts beating again to the beat of the drums of liberation, as Zunesha points out, right? And that's when Zunesha is like, Joy
Cringe.
Boy is back.
It was so cool when I read it in the chapter and you described it. I'm like, wow, that sounds so fucking cringe hearing it back.
I mean, no, I think it works. I mean, like, the idea, the drums of liberation, that's something that's been kind of, like, referenced in the background a few times, like, most
Yes.
notably back at Skypiea with the party.
I'm
Everyone's
just
been
joking.
quoting
Like,
that.
hearing it from fucking a huge-ass elephant is, like, the coolest thing ever.
Yeah,
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 it's
its
true.
big booming voice, like, that's more imposing, definitely.
his, like,
Checking.
his dark eyes that you can't even see.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Tekking, for Brook, how was that devil fruit activated? Was it also like once you die kind of thing?
Yes.
Yeah, well, Brooks was a special thing, but yeah, he had to die in order for the fruit to be activated.
Yeah, so even that could have been like a clue there, but
Yeah, it
yeah,
could have
obviously
been,
it's a special thing for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's just shit goes off the rails at this point. People are just shocked. They're like, yo, is Luffy still alive? It's like, yeah, he's alive. He's actually alive. And people are like crying. People are shocked. Everyone's insane. Like, it just goes crazy from there, man. It just goes crazy. And then we get that little page, like 1 page only of the Gorosei kind of explaining the
That was the
truth
most
about the Gomu
exciting.
Gomu no Mi.
That was my
And
least
that is
favorite
just
part of
fun.
all of it.
That was amazing.
That fucking
Bro,
was so like that's
that
the one
was
thing that bothers me.
fascinating to
The
me.
one thing that bothers me is like so they've known like it literally says they've known about the gum gum fruit for 800 years. It's
Yeah.
like we've never been able to get our hands on the gum gum fruit for 800 years, and if it's
Yeah.
awakened, it'll change the world. Blah blah blah. And then we get the insane reveal, which I'll talk about in a second. But it's like if you fucking knew Luffy was a pebble in the size of this entire world, you knew that he had the gum gum fruit at some point. You had to have known. Like they had to have known. Fucking. Like, I think that's a huge plot hole.
So, well,
I think it's a huge plot hole.
I talked about this. What I can say, which makes it maybe a little bit less of a plot hole, is they mention that the fruit has not been awakened in 800 years.
Yes.
So many people have probably had it in 800 years,
Exactly.
but it's been 800 years. And if no one's been able to awaken it, sure, Luffy might have it, but they're like, the odds of him awakening it are pretty low. They didn't really find out about Luffy until, I think the first time the Gorosei actually find out about Luffy, like actually mention him, is after Crocodile's defeat. I go into a whole like spiel about it, but I think it makes a little bit. I wouldn't call it a plot hole. I think it makes a little bit of sense.
So
I don't think it's a plot hole either, bro. Like 800 years. Think of like that. It could be like just a legend for them at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they literally didn't even live 100 years. You know what I mean?
I will ask you this much though: would you have preferred if the Gorosei bit wasn't even in the chapter and it was still left a mystery of what Luffy's power even was?
I wouldn't.
No,
you would not?
I wish they knew, but they didn't know until now. Like they found out, like, oh, it was the gum fruit. Like we heard this mystery of this like ancient power that awakens and it's Joy Boy, Sun God Nika, but they didn't know what fruit, right? Because otherwise, it's like, what have you been doing? What have you fucking been doing? It's like I can see the fact that like Shanks has it, so like they couldn't get it, and it's like escaped them every time they tried to get it. But like.
Another thing is also they are in charge of an entire world government, so they probably have like other stuff going on. Like you got to remember, a good chunk of the part 1 of One Piece was they were about to have a war with Whitebeard. Maybe they just didn't have time to deal with like, okay, Luffy has the fruit, we know where he is, but Whitebeard's about to have a war with us. We don't have time to send people to go deal with that for about a fruit. He might not even awaken at the end of the day, so it's not the big of a deal.
Why deal with an what if when you have actual like pressing?
Now though, now that they know he's awakened it and they know he has it, I bet they're kicking themselves like, damn it, we should have done something about this earlier.
These old men are dumb as literally sit in that room and do nothing. They literally
they sit in the room of authority and just talk. That's what their whole job is.
What they revealed, to just be clear, is that the Gum fruit, or the Gomu Gomu no Mi, is not actually the Gomu Gomu no Mi. It's actually a legendary zone-type fruit called the human fruit mythical model, Nika.
The sun god,
and the sun god, and they've known this, but it hasn't awakened in 800 years ever since Joy Boy.
Yeah.
So, the presumption being that Joy Boy had the same fruit.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, so Luffy and Joy Boy share the same devil fruit, which is a very popular theory. Yeah.
Because, I feel like it has to be that, unless Joy Boy himself somehow, like, imprinted his own will onto the fruit. But,
like Joy Boy was the sun god, and, like, I don't know, I cannot connect that theory. Although I think this is the fucking perfect fruit for Luffy.
Yes.
Literally the perfect fruit for Luffy.
It is. I do want to say another thing that I think is very important and that like interests me a lot is the detail that zone fruits in particular contain a will of their own.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
I think that was a huge detail dropped, and a lot of us assume maybe it's just all fruits. But once we start just thinking of zone fruits, that obviously, gives us a lot and makes everything different that we saw before.
It was something that was kind of like hinted at strongly, like the fact that objects can eat zones, and it's only zones that objects have eaten. That kind of gives us the idea that like there's something going on with them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like the fact that an inanimate object can gain some sort of personality after eating a zone means that the personality has to come from the fruit.
Yeah, because you're feeding a fruit like Spondum's sword has an elephant fruit. So it's like, it's a sword and then it has an elephant, but it acts like an actual elephant. And yeah, so the soul is from that.
So what is Chopper, bro?
I never thought about that. That's Chopper? So cool.
Is Chopper the fruit?
Like, if you never...
Oh, God, dude. There's a whole existential crisis with this I went into in a video talking about, okay, Chopper was a reindeer. He was a reindeer, and now he ate this fruit, and he has human personality. Does that come from the fruit? In which case, does that mean that there was a soul of a human inside of the Hito Hito no Mi that Chopper ate, and that's somebody else's personality that he has, not his own? Or it's a combination of the two.
At least when an animal eats the Hito Hito no Mi, the animal had sentience. Like,
yeah,
it wasn't an inanimate object.
Yeah, there's something to go on there. Yeah, it's something to go on there, but still, like, it brings up a question there. Like, what happened if you would have fed, I don't know, a pencil the Hito Hito no Mi? Mm-hmm. It would be a human. Would it have Chopper's personality, or would it have a completely different personality? I don't know.
Exactly. I wonder if Luffy's always had this will of Joy Boy in him. And that's why maybe he acts like his actions
were picked him. That's why
maybe that's why the fruit picked him.
There's different options here because one thing that the Gorosei did say again to reiterate is that the fruit has been willingly evading them. Like he
Yeah.
has a will of its own and it's been evading them. It's not like a symbolic thing that they're saying. They're not just saying, oh, we keep missing it. They're saying literally the fruit is somehow affecting this. Then the question is, now we know that before Luffy, even before he consumes the fruit as a kid, he wanted to become a pirate. He wanted to, go on an adventure.
Yeah.
Because some people try to say that his whole personality is just a result of the fruit. That's not the case. However, I wonder if, and this is what I talked about in my latest video about Shanks and his master plan, which I just dropped yesterday on the channel. I wonder if Shanks knew about the fruit. He knew the true power of the fruit.
Isn't that the question, though?
He knew that the fruit has a will of its own, and the reason why he was in Fuchsia Village for so long, this random-ass village in the East Blue, is because the fruit somehow told him this is where we need to be, and then the fruit picked Luffy in that moment when he ate it.
Yeah.
I think my theory is a little bit different. I think he knew about the fruit, and he was like, "Wow, Luffy just ate that. It's like this is fate. This is meant to be."
Yeah.
Like from that moment onward,
at first.
from at that point, like maybe he just like I don't know if he left it unlocked on purpose to see what would happen.
Maybe it doesn't talk like with words, but maybe there's some kind of like communication through the voice of all things happening that people are unaware of.
Well,
right?
the way I took it when the Gorosei member says it's evading us, I think obviously it doesn't mean like the fruit's gonna grow legs and like run away or whatever. What I think it means is the fruit, maybe all zone fruits can do this. They get to pick and choose where they reincarnate in the world, and so that's why that fruit always avoided the Gorosei, because it was actively picking places that the world government was like not allied, and so maybe that's where Shanks found it, somewhere in the backwater of the East Blue. When Luffy eats the fruit, Shanks does call it like, Luffy, you just ate the gum fruit. Don't you know what you just did? So I don't know. He calls it the Gumu no. He doesn't allude to anything else involving it.
Even the 5 elders say gum fruit at first.
Yeah, they do. They do.
You have to. The reason why I think Shanks had to have known something is because you look at Shanks' personality. He's not the type of guy to start an incident with the world government for nothing, to go out of his way to steal something important to the world government. He's known as being a guy who brings balance to the system. He's known as being peaceful and pacifistic.
Maybe.
And even the Gorosei acknowledged this. So it's like, to me, for him to go out of his way to create a potential incident with the world government means that he knew this fruit was special.
Yeah, and especially what's the coincidence is too much for him to have
no
such
doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
For him to have the one fruit that is so huge for the scale of the world. It's like he has to have known.
And for Roger's legacy and everything.
Exactly.
Do you think by that logic, it's one of those things where Shanks was planning on eating the fruit himself and then Luffy ate it and he's like, oh, okay, well, this works great, then fine.
I don't think so. I feel like Shanks wasn't going to eat it. That's just my
I don't think so.
The question is, and again, this is all relevant to the previous video I just made, so that's why I'm talking a lot about this, but the question is, why was Shanks, his overpowered crew, in a random village in the East Blue for so long? They weren't
quite as overpowered back then, but I understand what you're saying. They were still very strong. Yeah.
Only 5 or 6 years after they leave Fuchsia Village, he becomes a Yonko.
That is true. Then again, Luffy's journey, cutting out the time skip. No, not even that. Like, cutting out the 2-year time skip, they've only been traveling for, I think, a year. And they're already at this level.
That's
already
true. A lot can happen in 5 years, for sure.
Yeah. And 5 years, holy shit, Luffy will be like Garp level. I'm kidding. I'm just, but still, you know what I mean?
That's not even a joke, bro.
Well, that isn't, though.
Remember when Shanks returned, like without an arm? He's like, I'm betting it on like the next generation. Like I think he already knew like something with Luffy and something with his fruit is like this is fate. And he's betting it on the next generation. Like
it's also possible he might not have known when Luffy ate the fruit, but then he found out later, and then he's like, "Oh, okay, well, he'll be okay then. That's the fruit that'll change the world." I see.
Yeah, because he's definitely been kind of keeping tabs on Luffy.
Because it's a closely guarded secret. It's possible that only like the Gorosei and Eam even know it's called like the mythical, sun god fruit, right? Okay.
Yeah, but what I'm wondering, Teching, is what happened for the Gorosei to suddenly be like, okay, CP0 guy, kill him now, no matter the cost? Was it what Shanks said to them, or was it something else? Because during the reverie, Shanks meets with them. He says he wants to talk about a certain pirate. Could it be that Shanks knew if Luffy dies, that is the way to activate the fruit? And he told them, yeah, kill Luffy, you'll eliminate the threat.
Oh,
then-
holy shit, that's dark, but I could kind of see that going there. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Dark,
if
but
he knew
like-
about the fruit, he might have known. Oh, if they kill him, they're actually going to create
Yeah.
the threat they were trying. to
So
avoid.
like Shanks
Yeah.
is like going there and is like, hey, there's this, pirate Straw Hat Luffy. You need to eliminate him as fast as possible, no matter what, or he'll become a problem. But he said that knowing that if he
Yes.
dies, he'll get the fruit. So he was kind of like screwing with the Gorosei at the same time. Oh my
Yes.
god, I didn't even think of that. Oh
yeah,
god.
that was what I was talking about in the video from yesterday.
Wow.
That's why I'm
Wow.
bringing it
Alright.
up.
Yeah, so he's playing like 3-dimensional chess if he did that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, I think Shanks is a lot more Machiavellian than people realize.
Oh no, he definitely is. I just don't want to. I don't want to like immediately say like Shanks had everything planned from the beginning, But
No.
Yeah,
I'm a
he's
little
not
bit,
Blackbeard.
or like Light Yagami or something. I'm a little bit hesitant to go that level with Shanks, but he is very smart. Yes.
And
I
yeah,
feel like he had to have
I
done
don't think
something.
that he's evil. By the way, I think he's Machiavellian.
There's a
Meaning
lot
I-
of people that want to, like Shanks is evil. Yeah.
No, I think his goals are good, but I think he's willing to go. He knows what it takes to achieve those goals. Like you're not going to overthrow a world government just with hope and
Yeah.
friendship. Like you got to have strategy. You got to be ruthless. Sometimes you got to have tactics, which Luffy doesn't. Like Luffy's not a political guy, a Machiavellian guy. He's just a action guy. But I feel
He's
like Shanks,
and I think maybe Shanks going along with that might have seen that in Luffy. Like this is the perfect fruit for you because this isn't the kind of fruit that you need tactics or planning or Machiavellian scheming. This is the fruit where you're all about freedom and liberation and just you fight that way. Like Luffy's the perfect person to have that fruit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and let's talk about the fruit of the powers because we got to get to
Yeah.
the powers now because
Toon
we got
World.
basically
Activate.
freaking Toon World powers. Luffy activating powers that allow him to just break reality. in
Literally,
some
the
way.
Gorosei call it the most ridiculous power in the world.
Yes.
With 2 exclamation marks.
With two
Essentially-
exclamation marks. Yeah.
Essentially, he can do all the things that Looney Tunes characters can do, such as growing parts of his body suddenly, such as changing size suddenly. He can take the floor beneath him, turn it into rubber, and like lift it up over himself as a shield, which is kind of similar to like the awakening of a
Yeah, it's,
Paramecia, but just like on another level.
yeah, it's very similar. One way to look at it is like, yeah, he's got Toon Force, but the other way is like it's literally every power of his gears in one gear, and he has perfect control over it. So he
Yeah.
doesn't need to breathe into his arm to make his arm huge. He can just think about it, and boom, his arm is huge
Yeah.
now.
Dude, he
Yeah,
can make
that's
his
basically
entire
what he does.
body huge. Like I love how it all kind of
Yes,
makes
yep.
like it's so ridiculous and so perfect for him because it's ridiculous and fun, but it also kind of works within like his abilities. Like he's been able since literally like the first like 200 episodes able to turn his arm big. Now he can turn his entire body big. He's rubber at the end of the day. There's many characters that can run on air in the series, and now he's doing it in a cartoon-esque style, but it still works within the world, like running on air. And
Yeah, and
he's
we
doing it like the
literally-
Roadrunner. Like I actually love the ability. I'm a little bit hesitant. Like I'm always sad when like a character like Naruto is like, wow, your dad was the fourth Hokage and you're the chosen one. And
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
built
and you
into
become
One
a
Piece,
demigod.
though.
That's so
It's
amazing.
built into One Piece,
Yeah.
though, in a way that it wasn't in the beginning of Naruto. in
No,
my
and you know
opinion.
what? Oda does a fantastic. This is the next chapter, but he does a fantastic job of showcasing. Luffy doesn't just go into Gear 5 and finish off Kaido in one attack.
Yeah.
And it's
No,
like that's how
definitely
powerful it is. It has weaknesses, and just like every awakening, Luffy can run out of gas, and when he does that, it really drains him. So I kind of like that Oda didn't go the simple route of like Luffy goes Gear 5, punches Kaido once, end of fight, and it's like
Yeah.
I'm awesome now. I got a power up.
But what do you
It's-
make of that? Him immediately like recovering because he chooses to do so. Like, what do you think the consequences?
okay,
would
so I don't think that's like
What do you mean
infinite.
by
I don't
that?
think Luffy could just keep going back into it. It's
No.
just think of it the same with Kid and Law when they were using their awakenings. They could kind of keep doing it, but it drained them a lot. Luffy could go back into Gear 5 after he loses it once. He might even be able to go back into it again, but I think it'll get shorter and shorter every time he does it, and eventually he just won't be able to maintain
yeah,
it.
there's
anymore.
always repercussions with his fruit. As we've seen, especially in the
Of course,
beginning
yeah.
with
been laid out.
gear 2, and then with Gear 3, he turned small, but eventually he didn't turn small anymore. There's gonna
Yeah.
be repercussions, even when he started to get out of that form. Like his body looked dead, right?
Yeah, he looked drained. After it finally ends and the fight is over, he's going to be completely unconscious. He's
Yeah.
not going to be able to fight he's not going to be able to do anything for a while. He might be
Yeah,
in a straight up coma.
And that
Yeah.
is the thing. That is the thing that I think we need to kind of think about. this power is so overpowered, and he's even able to kind of like turn Kaido into rubber. Like he's even able to.
Yeah,
kind of turn
so
him
it affects
into-
living things. It affects living things and solid matter, which is something that's unusual because usually
Yeah.
it's like living things sometimes are the exception to these, but no, it's anything he comes in contact with.
Yeah, which is insane. But we do have to talk about the potential drawbacks because I feel like because this is so overpowered, there have to be drawbacks. Otherwise, Luffy's just gonna speedrun the rest of the story, right?
He's
Yeah.
probably
And he already
insane.
has
He's
it,
probably
right? So-
insanely doping right now. Like he mentioned that his heartbeat is different, and we know his
Yeah.
other abilities like have repercussions with the doping that he does. He's able to do it because he's made of rubber at the end of the day, but there's definitely going to be repercussions. 100%.
Yeah,
Shortened
there's-
lifespan is definitely going to be one of them.
Shortened lifespan. He's going to be drained after he goes into it. Also, just from the perspective of Luffy, has this very jovial personality when he does it, and that's fun to look at. But it's very Luffy. But like at the end of the day, that might actually be a detriment for because like he'll hit Kaido and then he won't attack him anymore. He'll just bounce up and down like having a good time, and it's like, Luffy, maybe you should focus a little bit more.
Yeah, the opposite of Machiavellian.
This is
like,
the only
Yeah,
way
yeah,
to.
exactly,
this is the only
yeah.
way to end One Piece in 4 years. Make it that his lifespan is 4 years.
There you go. Yeah,
The other thing too, we got to remember is that Joy Boy lost the war.
yeah, he
Right.
did.
Joy
We don't know
Boy-
the whole story, but yeah, he did lose.
Yeah, like Joy Boy, we assume had this fruit, had this power. That is why it's been so feared for 800 years, and yet he lost. So it's not an immortal power. It's not it's not guaranteed that this is going to succeed. There's
Of
got to
course,
be some
yeah.
reason. And I feel like the reason why Joy Boy lost has to be some kind of like very interesting, kind of like heartbreaking fact that Luffy might also have to, run into like the same challenge.
Yeah, yeah.
But the difference
Yeah,
is
maybe there's a time limit.
Joy
Like, that
Boy
might
was
be
all
one.
by himself, but Luffy has friends.
Exactly. I mean, that is a big deal. The crew.
Well, I mean, Joy Boy
big.
definitely had friends. Zunisha was a member of his
Yeah,
crew,
he had
apparently.
a kingdom, bro. Like
Yeah, he had
yeah.
a fucking big elephant. People didn't like him. Only animals did.
Oh, that you know
I'm
what?
just
I had
kidding,
a
bro.
thing.
I'm
This
just
is a
playing.
random one. I don't want to get off track, but like the Noah, right? It's a giant boat. Okay, what if like they did like a thing like the actual Noah's Ark in the Bible, where it's like there were two of every animal on the boat, and then those are the original animals that became all of the zone fruits today in One Piece. That was like a thing I had an idea.
That's kind of
for.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing about that is then why are there other types of fruits? Why are there paramecias? Why?
Right, that might just be the origin of zones, and why that might explain how they have like their own,
I
maybe
do
Joy
wonder-
maybe Joy Boy created all the fruits. Maybe he was the one that
Yeah.
did everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do wonder how fruits came into existence because it's like, did the world government create them? Did Joy Boy create them? Like, which side created them?
I
and
think
why and
Oda
how?
is making us think about this now. I think Vegapunk's going to show, because it's been revealed Vegapunk's going to be the one to explain all this. Oda said that a while ago, but it's
Yeah.
like I think this is the perfect time for Vegapunk to show up after Wano and explain all this finally.
Joy Boy
Yeah.
creating them is really interesting because it would explain why abstract ideas can be in devil fruits, right?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, concepts like Osuru has the concept of laundry as a fruit, not water, not soap. The literal concept of laundry as a power. It's so weird. Yeah.
And I will say that while engaged in deep meditation, I had the epiphany that Vegapunk is actually Panda Man. So
That would be so funny.
if you hear that theory, remember to credit me because that is my.
I would laugh if he wears like a cyborg helmet shaped like Panda Man and he takes it off and he's like an old dude, but like that would be fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like a Daft Punk version of Panda.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm kind of confused. There was one panel in the newest chapter.
Yes.
And it says, I've lost quite a lot. Much of what I've built up over the years. My followers, my castle.
Kaido, yeah,
Same
Kaido, yeah.
for you, right? Same for
Yeah.
you, right? What does that mean?
And it wasn't.
Oh.
Yeah. He means for Luffy lost stuff too, I'm
Yeah.
guessing, but he
Yeah.
hasn't though.
Because it's
really.
different translation. Well, I mean, a lot of samurai have died, but
Yeah,
I mean, like that
guess. For us-
ostensibly, yeah, that's
for
not.
us, it's not as comparable, but
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's just a scene Kaido. There's different translations, but Kaido's just saying, "Hey, look, you wrecked my castle. You wiped out a lot of my men. You guys have lost a lot too, though." Like I think he's just mentioning the battle is coming to its conclusion. We've both
Okay.
lost a lot. Yeah,
I was so confused.
that's all right.
Or he's talking about the original Joy Boy, but I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, he was
No, he's
asking,
not.
who are you? Who are you right
Kaido's
now?
Yes.
still figuring it out.
That I think is because Kaido has been kind of waiting for Joy Boy for forever for him to come back to like give him a challenge or whatever. So I think now that he's seeing Luffy in Gear 5th, he gets up after Luffy punches him and he's like, "Who the hell are you?" Thinking like maybe he is Joy Boy and he'll just say that I am. Now of course Luffy just says like I'm Monkey D. Luffy, King of the
And I'm gonna
Pirates.
be
Blah, blah,
King
blah.
Thank
Pirates,
fucking
yeah.
God he said that. If he said I'm Joy Boy, I was out.
That was really. I don't want this to be a possession thing or like reincarnation. Like Luffy is still Luffy.
That,
I love that. Luffy is still Luffy. Yeah.
And it would take away from the whole show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would not be a fan of that.
If he was like the reincarnation of Joy Boy from 800 years ago, which I guess is still kind of possible.
Yeah,
I doubt it. Thank God, Oda still finds like I feel like he's teasing or tethering through like a fine line here, and he keeps on making right choices other than the fucking Gorosei knowing and not doing anything about it.
Look, I mean, like, that trope is used so much in anime. Like, Naruto has the demon fox inside of him. Ichigo has his hollow self inside of him. I just don't think it works for Luffy's character. It's been, like, 1,000 chapters of this story. If Oda was going to do something like that, introduce it at the beginning, not now. So,
Is there any major shonen that doesn't do that? Because... literally, you have that in Black Clover with Asta. You have it in MHA with the Vestiges.
Yeah, both Black Clover.
You have it in Attack on Titan with Eren and Eren's own future self, which is so funny there.
Yeah. You have it even in Dragon Ball. You have kind of like Goku losing his memories, therefore losing his true nature.
Yeah, just the idea of like
and you also have obviously the more obvious the Majin Vegeta stuff.
Yeah, just like having like a ghostly image or somebody inside of you that's like either he can control you or like guides you. I think this just doesn't work for Luffy. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see because something has to be going on here with this. There has to be a big drawback. It could be just an energy loss thing. He's going to be in a coma. Or it could be something like Luffy loses control of himself and the fruit starts to take over and he has to kind of come to terms with that and fight against that.
But the fruit doesn't seem like a bad guy. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like Asta's devil kind of thing.
No, but you don't have to be a bad guy.
No.
Maybe the fruit just has its own goals and it's willing to do whatever it takes.
So Kaido explained a little bit about awakenings in the last chapter, and he said, we call this an awakening, which, by the way, confirms Kaido is an awakening. We didn't know 100%, but we kind of
felt like that, too.
He was. He was, obviously. But he says, your mind and body have, like, basically melded with your ability. And I like to think of it like Luffy's just on a high or a euphorian like state right now of like, wow, I'm so strong. I could do anything. Oh my God, this is like his mind is racing and he can't really focus. That's what I'm thinking of it right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone said, please Kaido awakening soon. I feel like he's already awakened.
Yeah, I feel like
the
Magikarp into a Gyarados is a nice awakening for that fruit. People are like, oh, what about, Momonosuke's fruit? But that one isn't a perfect replica. So I'd like to believe that Kaido also made a not great fruit for everybody amazing.
Oh, okay. So you think he was like a carp when he first ate it?
I'd like to think so.
Okay, I think of the opposite. I think the name of the fruit is Model Dragon, so when you eat it, you do become a dragon. I mean, it could be the carp thing, and then you awaken and you become a dragon. But
what would be the awakening? You know what I mean?
The awakening is just you can control the weather. I don't know. Well, no, I guess it wouldn't be that because Momonosuke would be able to do that. Well, with awakenings with other zones, like the demon guards that impel down, it was just an increase in stamina and like recovery rate and stuff like that.
That's
so maybe
boring shit.
I know, but maybe
I'm kind of with Gozen here because the Gomu Gomu ni wasn't awakened and it still had its true name was still Model Nika.
And maybe the reason Momonosuke is like that is like you said, it's a failure. So.
Can you guys remind me? So his fruit is called fish fruit Model Dragon.
Azure Dragon or Seiryu. Yeah.
And Seiryu is like has a specific story tied to it, so that's why I wouldn't just say like dragon.
Yeah, I feel considering he's at Wano as well. I kind of like Gozen's theory about the carp.
I'm picturing this man kind of eating.
This man fucking went up a
waterfall. Into a floppy ass fish.
Well, no. Here's the thing, though. Here's the only problem with that I can think of. Kaido apparently, we don't know the whole story, but Big Mom said, Kaido was apparently about to die at God Valley, and so she gave him the fruit, and that saved his life. So how would turning into a carp?
He swam away, bro.
Unless he ran away, or people ignored the carp.
There's just a carp flopping up and down, and the Marines are like, "Well, we just didn't ignore that." But if could he swim as a carp? That would be pretty damn useful for a.
It's a fish fruit, right?
It's like only the fish fruits are able to swim.
I don't know.
That would be fascinating.
Assume for sure, like it can or cannot, because like yeah, usually fruits can't, but it's a fucking fish fruit, you know?
Dude,
Like
I'll tell you what.
Yeah,
That would
and
make
if you're a fish, you can breathe. Even if you can't swim and you just sink, you
Yeah.
can still
yeah.
breathe, right?
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's-
that's what happened with Jack when Jack got underwater. But no, like that actually makes sense because everybody has always said, if Kaido wants to die so bad, why doesn't he just jump in the water and die?
Exactly.
Yeah, well, there you go, because he has the damn fish
I
fruit. Even
fucking
that
love
won't
it.
work.
That
I
works.
love
That
it.
works.
All right, shit. You guys are swaying me to this theory. This is making a lot of sense now.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love
yeah, I
One
like it a
Piece.
lot. No,
do
so
too.
much, man.
The only issue is, you see, we don't have a lot of awakening fruits, like a lot of awakened mythical zones to compare it to. So that's why it's just like I need more examples.
Imagine,
think that Kaido-
imagine that Sword's awakened.
I do think
Yeah.
I do think Kaido is awakened already because I don't think this battle is gonna go on.
Oh,
for,
he's
like,
already
4 years
awakened
after.
now.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Griffin
he's
kind of
awakened
said
now.
that, but based on what he was saying, like it would be stupid for him to be like, "Oh, this is what we call an awakening." I haven't done it, but that's what
Yeah,
I haven't
exactly,
gotten
yeah.
there quite yet. I've had this fruit for over 38 years, but I'll get there someday.
yeah.
No, yeah, I think he's definitely awakened, and this is like a battle of mythical zones awakened.
Yeah, this is a total brawl. for
Exactly, and he
mythical
was always
zones,
associated as like the strongest creature, so it's just really interesting to see like another mythical zone actually give him a challenge. It's awesome.
Now, at the so we did talk about like Luffy having all these Toon World powers, being able to affect everything around him, including non-organic and organic matter and all this other stuff. But at the end of the final chapter that we are covering here, chapter 1046, Luffy seems to grab lightning out of the freaking sky with his hand.
Yes.
And so it's like he has lightning powers too?
So
or he's just conducting the lightning? Like, what's
I
going on?
interpreted that as he can anything that has, even if it doesn't have mass, it doesn't matter if it's plasma, liquid, gas. He can touch it. He turns it into rubber. He can hold it and use it. That's the way I
And then
interpreted
like maybe
that.
turn it back once he throws it or some shit like that.
No, it's like the quality of rubber, but it still has the qualities of lightning. So he can throw it and it'll still electrocute the shit out of anything. Yeah.
And
Are
we're
you saying
told-
it has
we're
the
told-
properties of rubber and gum?
No, 100%. That is Luffy. That's Katakuri's ability because it's like rubbery and it's also sticky. So Katakuri has bungee gum.
That meme has to be referenced. But
Yeah,
I do
I
want to
love
say,
Well, dude, look at my background on the. Sorry, Dual.
Yeah.
I'll let you speak. My bad.
It's Hunter x Hunter. Yeah.
Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
no, perfect. No, I just wanted to say that. So we're told, and again, you could read this in a different way, and this is the official translation. I think the unofficial translation was even more like he could potentially do anything. But the official translation is he can fight in whatever way he fancies. So like,
Yeah.
the implication of this legend, right, is that he can literally do whatever he wants. Now, I'm guessing that wouldn't make sense. I'm guessing there's limits, but I mean, so far, let's grab a lightning bolt. Did it? Like, it's fucking crazy. He could potentially do anything until Oda sets a boundary.
And even takes like damage from Kaido's like big
Boro
what do you
breath.
call it? What no, the big stick. What do you call it?
Oh, the Kanabo.
Mace? The mace, right? He
Yeah.
take-
The weapon is called a Kanabo, but the name of it is Hasaikai. Yeah.
Yeah. So he like smashes him with it, which that I'm pretty sure he killed him with it before, and he also killed the Zero Agent. But no, Luffy's just kind of like stretches like a
he's even
cartoon character.
stretchier.
And like silly putty, it like molds to his shape. And you know what? I think because Luffy can turn into a giant whenever he wants now, so he can adjust his size at will, and he can mold his body into whatever shape. Because we saw that with the Kanabo. Luffy could probably turn into like a giant dragon or a snake or a lion. A giant bear, Briggs. He could become anything he wants, pretty much. Like yeah.
He could even be someone big enough to wear a giant straw hat.
Or something like that. I don't know where that would come into.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't fucking think about that. Wow.
Yeah.
This has been a lot of fun to listen in on, boys, but I gotta head out for now. Thank
Oh,
you.
Later,
okay.
Quiet.
Thank you, quite
Hopefully, we
for
didn't ruin your
contributions,
experience for
bro.
One Piece.
No, I was just listening. It was very interesting. Have a good one.
Thanks
Later.
for
Yeah,
nice
bro.
to meet you. See ya.
Yeah, quite
I like
a
that
big
guy.
Dude, giant straw hat.
Yep.
Yeah, I actually
boy.
saw O'Hara mention that as well.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I think it's O'Hara, but yes.
It's O'Hara.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, if Joy Boy was just a regular human, why would he be a giant like for an extended period of time? Or was he a giant?
I don't know. I
Well,
feel like that hat was like big, but it wasn't like somebody like Whitebeard or Big Mom could wear that hat. I don't think like an actual giant. I think it was still a little bit too small for an actual giant.
We
I don't
still
know.
have to go to
Yeah, I mean, it's
Elbaf.
hard.
We've never been to Elbaf.
We have to
before.
go to Elbaf at this point.
So-
Oh, by the way, also the giants worship a sun god, so
Yeah.
that's gonna be fun.
I think
Yeah.
Joy Boy was a giant.
maybe a small giant, maybe it's like a giant human,
Well,
like
he could become
Whitebeard
a
was big.
giant. That's
Oh
clear.
yeah.
He could become one, but maybe if he was a giant, he could also get smaller if he needed to with the necrophilia.
Exactly. Yeah.
Why are you guys so set on him being small? Is there something that I don't know?
I don't think he needs to be small. It's just like I'm just thinking he could become a giant even without being a giant. So it's like doesn't necessarily need to be a giant.
The way I was thinking about it, that hat that is in the basement of Marijois, I just think that's not like seeing Dory and Bragi. I didn't think that hat was big enough for them to wear. I think it's just like a big guy like Whitebeard or somebody could probably wear it, but like I don't think it was that big. Yeah. I don't know.
It would have been cool if the original. It would have been cool if the original Joy Boy was like an ancient giant, and he could just like sit on Zunisha's back and be like, "Let's go."
That would be cool.
I really like a theory I actually heard from one of Sawyer's reviews, which is like Zunisha's legs are like that because the old Joy Boy was actually like made it like that.
Yeah,
it just stayed that way. So I thought that was a very interesting thought that I didn't have myself, and it would explain like a lot of weird occurrences in the One Piece world.
And would we say now that we know exactly what Zunisha did to deserve punishment? He was helping Joy Boy, right?
Yeah, well, we know in like a general sense he was an ally of Joy Boy, but we don't know like what specifically, like who issued the punishment, like the world government. Well, why is Zunisha listening to a punishment of the world government? Maybe Joy Boy, maybe it's a punishment Zunisha issued to itself. Is like, I failed Joy Boy, I will walk the seas until I've atoned or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I will walk the seas until the next Joy Boy appears.
Yeah, something like that.
Because I'm always fascinated with someone like Zunisha who has been alive this whole time, or someone like Toki who was alive during the Void Century. Like, obviously, you know, this whole idea of will and destiny is interesting, but the idea of someone who's actually lived this long, it fascinates me. Like, what is Zunisha must know so much.
I feel like it should, and so Momonosuke was apparently like talking to it, but you know, Zunisha did not tell him everything. So
yeah, Zunisha was just fanboying over Joy Boy.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, but in the last chapter, Joy Boy did mention that, like, hey, I think we can trust this kid, implying Luffy. So I think that Joy Boy, I mean, Zunisha knows that Luffy's not, like, the actual Joy Boy. It's not, like, a reincarnation. It's just like, oh, he has the same power. It's so nostalgic.
In the latest chapter, that was clear, yeah.
Yeah, so.
He's like, let's put our faith in him. Like, he's not you, but, like, let's put our faith in him.
Good enough.
Someone has awakened the fruit again. It's been 800 years. Let's go. Poggers.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty much what Judica said.
And Luffy will go beyond the old Joy Boy, right? He will bring the dawn. He'll
go plus ultra, yes.
Exactly. Like, Pirate King seems like a small goal at this point. Like,
but that's fitting of Luffy, though. I don't think Luffy wants to be like sun god of the universe, or whatever.
No,
like, that's not Luffy.
He wants freedom and to not conquer anything.
Yeah, that's his deal. Have a big giant party.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You have to, you know, you can say that, but to overthrow a tyrannical, powerful government, you have to actually, you know.
Well, that's Dragon's shit. He's gonna do that.
There's people who could do the boring stuff.
Dude,
am I the only one who thinks that Dragon hasn't been doing shit in the story?
Oh no, he's been doing shit.
He's just doing shit off.
It's not the forefront of the story.
Like, I want to know what he's been doing, because like we know so little about what he's been doing.
There's a list of nations that have been liberated by the Revolutionary Army, so he's definitely doing stuff. It's just not, you know.
Yeah, I guess it's just been very off-screen. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not the focus of the manga. I was actually planning on doing a video once about like what everything involving Dragon's Revolution would entail, and I actually scrapped that video idea because I had to do research into actual real world like revolutions, and it's like, oh god, this is fucking dark. I don't want to like make a video about this because it got kind of
demonetized.
A lot of
well, not even that. It's just like, okay, here's the thing. One of the topics of the video was Dragon wants to get rid of the Tenryubito, even like the women and children, like all of them. Is he going to kill all of them? And I'm like, I don't even want to pose that question in a video, so I just didn't do it.
Yeah, a lot of public executions, my friend.
Jesus Christ, like, is that what he's going to do with it? I don't even know, man.
I feel like Dragon would be definitely more capable of it than Luffy, but...
well, he's more, you know, grounded in, like, you know, like, what has to be done.
Yeah, he's more badass, I think.
Yeah.
And I mean, you need that. You need someone like Dragon and someone like Shanks if you want to attain real political goals, because it's not just I'm going to win this battle and freedom, right? You have to actually attain things.
And that's the beauty of the crew mentality in One Piece, because Luffy is never gonna, like I said this in the anime version last time, the Luffy is never going to be the Naruto and doing paperwork when he becomes
no. No,
you know?
Luffy, even after
So-
becoming king of the pirates, he's still going to go on adventures. He's still going to travel. You know, that'll.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to defeat the world government, not because he wants to, but because he has this fruit and he's trying to become the pirate king. People are just going to continuously get in his way, whether it's Blackbeard or the world government. People are going to try to stop him from getting the One Piece. And he's just like, I want to go on adventures and have fun and be free. I'm going to become the king of the pirates. I'm sorry, I killed you. Or I beat you up.
The thing about One Piece is that it does showcase that political things are complex. It's not just all one-sided, good guys, bad guys. Like, you have good Marines, you have bad Marines, you have
absolutely,
you have stuff going on multiple sides. So I do feel like Oda is gonna treat the political side seriously. He's not just gonna be like Luffy just defeats everyone and everyone lives happily ever after. I feel like he will make some sort of some sort of.
I don't even know if Luffy and the Straw Hats are even going to deal with like Eam and the Gorosei. Like that might just be something up Dragon's Alley. You know what I mean?
It's such a long story that I feel like they need to wrap it up nicely.
I want him to, but I just don't know.
It's a question because who's going to be the final villain? Is it going to be Eam or is it going to be Blackbeard? Right, because if Blackbeard is the final villain for Luffy, then Eam could just be defeated by Dragon or whatever.
Yeah, I think Blackbeard's just my personal opinion. I think he's going to be the final villain that Luffy's going to have to overcome.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think the world government needs to go up against Luffy in a significant way at some point.
That would be cool too. But
yeah, because we have the admirals, we have Eam, Gorosei. There has to be some resolution there.
Absolutely.
I wonder if we're going to see Enel again.
I think he'll pop back in. Well, yeah. Where do you think Luffy got the lightning bolt from?
Dude, like that's so hilarious.
And Nell hit him with a alley oop.
Yeah.
At the time, we thought Luffy is so like outmatched, except for the weaknesses and strengths, Pokemon aspect of it.
Yeah.
Like, he was so outmatched with like a normal fruit, and then there's like this god lightning fruit, and then all of a sudden, like he's actually way more special than fucking a Logia, in my opinion. But
no, he is. It's been confirmed. Mythical zones are they're the rarest type of fruit in the world, and yet we know like quite a bit of them at this point. Like every fruit in Wano has been a mythical zone.
I know we might actually like fucking outpace Logia if they keep on like this. Like,
yeah. Like how many? Hold on, let me just double check.
11 is the one I got to for my video, but I was using non-canon, so I think it was 8.
With mythical, we have just in this arc alone, we have Orochis, we have Kaidos, we have Yamatos, we have Onimaru, the fox has one.
Yeah.
And Luffy has been revealed to have one. 5. Also, Katarina Devon, she's not in Wano the country, but it was revealed during this arc she has one. So that's 6.
Dude, they went crazy with Wano. Like, holy shit.
Yep. Yeah. And Marco's here too. Oh, maybe Marco could talk to Luffy about having a mythical zone. He has one too. He's like, oh, Luffy, because Luffy, does Luffy even know he has a mythical zone right now?
No, I don't think so, man.
He's still naming his stuff. Gumu Gumu. No, he doesn't.
I honestly think he doesn't know.
No, I don't think he knows because he just feels something is odd, but he's like, hey, I'm having fun. Like, I don't think he knows the
info. Hey, Gear 5, cool.
And Kaido said, like, oh, it's weird. Your awakening's like a paramecia, but also like a zone. But Luffy, I don't even think he was paying attention when Kaido said that. So,
Dude, how funny is it that Luffy said to Momonosuke, he's like, you have a zone. I know nothing about that. I'm a paramecia.
Yeah, I love that.
He's the same, like, mythical zone idea.
So
God, Oda does that shit, and I love him for it. You know? It's like...
What do you guys think, in terms of, what was I going to say now? Now it slipped my mind.
Blackbeard related, mythical zone related.
Yeah, it was mythical zone related, but I... Oh yeah. So is the thing about every Devil Fruit user knowing his Devil Fruit name, is that a mistranslation, Tekking? Because I feel like you would know that.
Oh, what was the question again? What did you say?
About Devil Fruit user automatically knowing its name, the name.
Oh, yeah. Oh, god damn. So that is a whole... So I interpreted it for years that when you eat the fruit, you just, like, there's something psychic with the fruit that just tells you what the name is. Yeah. Okay, that's the way I always interpreted it. I thought that was, like, going by what Oda said. I thought that's where he was going. Clearly it isn't, because the Gorosei changed the name. Luffy did not bite into the fruit and instantly learn this is the Hito Hito no Mi model Nika. So obviously it's not like that. There is the encyclopedia that has the names of it, but they're not all in there. So I don't know. The thing that bugs me is how come every single person in the world names their fruits with the exact same, like the double words, like the same style, if they don't psychically know it. You know what I mean? That's the thing that bugs me. But yeah. I don't know, man.
Because Shanks and Lucky Roo, in chapter 1 they tell Luffy that it's the Gomu Gomu no Mi, so it makes sense for him to be like, okay, so my attack is Gomu Gomu pistol.
Yeah, we can't assume anymore that
Imagine
people
he
know.
was psychically told it was like Maro Nika, and he's just like, what the fuck is that? I'm a Gum Gum man. Let's go.
Also,
If it
it's
could work
important to
for
keep in
anyone,
mind.
it's Luffy. Yeah.
It's important to keep in mind, Gumu Gumu no, that's not like a fake name. Like, it still has all the properties of rubber. It's just they gave it a name that's like, it explains what it does, but doesn't explain the whole, like, move set. So
Yeah,
it's
or
not like
awakening,
they gave it a name that has nothing to do with its power. It is the
Of
Gumu Gumu
course.
no Mi and the
Yeah.
Nika fruit. Yeah.
Pecking, do you think that Shanks and his crew actually don't have any devil fruits?
I don't think any of the upper echelon, because Shanks' crew as a Yonko is so fascinating. Whitebeard, Kaido, and Big Mom and Blackbeard all have like massive fleets, like thousands under their control.
Yeah.
Shanks has one fucking ship, and that's it. He has one ship, the Red Force, and maybe like a couple dozen members, and that's it. And it was mentioned they have the highest average bounties for like the upper echelon of his crew.
Nice.
So, yeah, I don't think any of them have fruits. We know that, like, Shanks, Yasop, Ben Beckman, Lucky Roo, they don't have fruits. Maybe some people do on his crew, but, yeah.
The reason I asked that is because I remember in chapter 1, Shanks made a really big deal about the fact that, oh, Luffy can't swim and pirates have to be able to swim. And we know that's not true because so many pirates and top-tier pirates and even Yonkos have the fruits, so they can't swim. So
Yeah.
I wonder, why is Shanks making such a big deal about swimming?
Maybe the One
maybe
Piece
he
is
knows
underwater.
Related, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe he knows something about Laugh-Tale or something. To get there, you have to swim. Something
Ooh.
like that.
Although
Well-
luckily we did figure out that there's other ways to get underwater besides
Yes,
just
of
swimming.
course, of course.
Yeah. There's, like, they have the whole bubble mechanic right now and everything like that.
I have an
so that
important question. Sorry,
But
Tekken.
they have,
Yeah.
they have the submarines, too.
What
Yeah.
what was it that what did we know so far about One Piece when we know that Roger laughed, but did we hear something about Joy Boy as well? I cannot remember.
Yeah, so Roger laughed, and then he said, oh, Joy Boy, I wish I could have lived in your time. You know, he says that.
Okay. And
So I think...
and he was
what
too
he's-
early because, what's it called, Shirahoshi hadn't been born yet.
Shirahoshi had not been born yet. So that's why, I don't know if that's the main reason Roger laughed, but I think they saw something they were laughing at. I think it was like a mural on the wall, like depicting the story of Joy Boy, and they looked at it and it was funny, and that's why Roger laughed, you know?
Yeah, so, I do wonder what was so funny about it, because, I don't think him saying, oh, I wish I could have lived in your time is the funny thing. I think it's just him saying that because he thinks Joy Boy is awesome. But I do wonder what was so funny, whether it was the fact that Laugh-Tale is located in a funny place.
It was literally a giant stone wall that has like a bunch of like comic book strips on it, and that's what they laughed at. That would be funny.
I mean, it would go well with
It would fit with the theme.
with One Piece, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Roger looks at this stone wall. It says One Piece is never ending. Lol. Get wrecked.
I've heard so many. The One Piece is a little sticky note that's like, you know, the journey was the adventure.
Yeah, it'll be that, but also a physical thing, like
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. Oda already confirmed it's not going to be that. Like, you know, the journey was the journey. The journey was the treasure. I like to think it's going to be like you ever see the movie National Treasure with Nick Cage?
Yes.
I like to think that part of the One Piece is they open up a giant door and it's like just literally a mountain of gold, and then Nami will go crazy, and then but that's not all of it. That's just part of it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like they
And,
get
like,
an actual
getting-
reward.
Becoming
Yeah.
the person capable of claiming that physical treasure is like what we're watching for. right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's the beauty of it.
And
but
it might
of
not
course,
even have been something left by Joy Boy. It was just like Roger left his personal treasure there, and that was obviously a mountain of stuff. Yeah.
Mhm.
It'd be
Yeah.
funny if in the last volume of One Piece, they're like, here's the One Piece, and then it's the page where it's revealed, it's just like a mirror, so that you, the reader, can see yourself. It's like, you are the treasure.
Oh god, that would be the worst.
Thanks for
that
all
would be
the
like
money.
a children's book, like last page of a children's book right there.
Dude, it's like Kung Fu Panda when he opens the legendary scroll. It was you all along.
Yeah, it worked in that context. That was good.
There is no secret ingredient.
By the way, we gotta talk about Raizo, bro, because clearly-
Raizo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
was the
dude,
star of the
greatest
show.
hero ever. Oh my god, I love that guy.
You guys think the whole water thing was an ass pull? Because I heard people
No,
saying it was.
no,
an
it was
Dude,
like
dude.
really well explained,
Yeah.
and it makes complete sense.
Yeah, he literally saw a giant castle of his lord burning down, and he's like, I never want to be in this situation again. And he's like, holy crap, a bunch of water? I could store that in my magic broken devil fruit power and then use it wherever. So I think that was perfect.
Yeah, if
and
we
I
never got
personally-
the burning castle, then it would be a different story. But
I personally don't really care about the fire itself. Like, obviously, it would be so anticlimactic if like the fire was what like ended Wano instead of the big battle.
It was just one of those things in the background that was going on, and I think it really served just to give Raizo and Jinbei a really good like moment there. Yeah.
I love when we have like the
Raizo
biggest
was great
chapter. Like the last couple chapters have been so huge, and he just calls it Raizo.
Yeah, but Raizo delivered. Fuck, man. Like, he delivered.
Oh, and dude,
I loved it.
There's a pun with the name because Oda loves to do that shit. The title is named Raizo after the character, but the kanji's different because Rai means lightning.
Oh,
there you go.
that's
There
really
you go.
cool.
There you go.
Shit.
One of those
bro.
things you don't realize when you read the English sometimes.
I fucking love it.
Yeah, I saw the title. I'm like, what the fuck? Why is it like Raizo, man? That sucks.
Yeah, so it's
Dude,
Raizo
that's
with the
perfect.
lightning, with the kanji for lightning. That's the reason.
That's
Yeah.
so good. Oh my god, I love it. I also wanted to say, like, the fucking the way they beat Orochi was a sea stone nail. Like, how much is that going to be used going forward? Like,
They
it's
better,
like
at least Frankie or somebody should be like, can we take a bunch of sea stone bullets with us out to sea? That would be really useful.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
it's
Usopp
just
could
an
shoot
easy
the
way.
nails, bro.
Usopp could have the nails. Frankie could have some bullets. I mean, they could do a lot of shit. They better not leave Wano without salvaging.
Yeah, we need to incorporate that for
Random
sure.
members, the armadillo dude from the prison had sea stone bullets. They should be able to grab random like beast pirate members and just take the bullets out of their guns. Like, come on.
Okay, I'd like to ask you what you think about like Orochi's mythical zone and without the sea stone. Was there a way to kill it or just no?
I think it was probably similar to the Lamaean Hydra from like Heracles' like 12 labors, and the way they killed that thing is you have to cut off all the heads and then burn the heads so they can't regrow. I don't think there's any devil fruit that gives you straight up invulnerability and invincibility. Like, you just cannot die
maybe
no
it's
matter
like
what.
Marco's thing where it's like it works until your endurance runs out. And then...
Yeah, so he lost his head in human form. He came back. Then all the scabbards cut off his heads in the Hydra form, and he still came back. So it's like, okay, you got to do something else with this. But there has to be a trick to kill him for good. He's not just like infinitely. He could just keep.
I think he
regrowing
should have
heads.
been boiled in lava. I mean, boiled in boiling
I mean, he
water.
got lit on fire by the
Yeah.
Kazubo. I mean,
Fire
like, yeah.
that he kind of came up with the
Yeah.
idea for it, so it's pretty poetic, It's pretty perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect. I just hope people are saying, "Wait, the water's gonna put out Orochi now," and
No,
I'm
it's
like,
not.
"Oh,
It
son
better
of a
not.
bitch! Please tell him he's
Dude,
dead now."
it better not.
Yo, Orochi better just die, man. I don't give a fuck about Orochi, man.
I mean, his fruit, I think, is fucking fascinating, but yeah, he's annoying as fuck.
Oh
yeah,
boy,
man, it's been a crazy time.
these chapters
to be a
are
One
wild.
Piece
It's a crazy
fan.
time to be a One Piece fan right about now.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, the craziest since like I caught up. for
Is
sure.
next week a
Yeah.
break? Is next week a break?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so this week,
yeah.
this week coming up is a break, and then there's chapter 1047, and then there's another 2-week break.
No.
Yes, that's why I was hoping the fight was going to get, because we had 3 chapters in a row. I was hoping 1046 was going to be the finale of the fight, and nope, we're still going.
Can we just comment on like the fist through Kaido's face?
Yeah,
Like, what the fuck is that? So
He
like,
just- it turns into rubber. Yeah.
but like, so how much damage are we talking?
Oh,
It just gets up like it's nothing.
I
Like,
think
what?
it's like it's like your body turns to rubber and then it snaps back to its original form, and that's like the concussive
I hope so. I
damage
hope it hurts like fucking crazy.
I
Cause
mean,
like,
Kaido
that
got
should
up
kill a
holding
guy.
Kaido got up holding his face like it hurt. I'm assuming it hurt.
yeah, like because the thing is, I'm like, if this wasn't cartoon world, he'd be fucking dead. So like,
Well,
this better
absolutely,
hurt.
yeah.
This better fucking hurt.
Earlier in that chapter, he ripped through Kaido's eyes to escape his body. It's like,
Oh my
damn.
God. Yeah, we didn't even get
Wild.
into that. Yeah, that was
There's
crazy.
so much, yeah. But thanks for having me on, guys. This is great.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
boy.
Always
Yeah,
cool
absolutely.
talking
It's
to you,
always a
Zach.
pleasure to have you on, and yeah, there's just so much to talk about in One Piece. So it's always fun to have someone who knows so much teching, bro.
thank you.
As I always say, it's a requirement for a One Piece fan to be subscribed to Teching 101. It's like when you're in university and they say you have to take this course to graduate. I think that's Teching 101's channel for a One Piece fan. 100%.
Aw,
the same
well,
thing.
thank you, yeah.
Yeah, it's so useful having teching here. Like some people said in the comments, we bring them on to ask questions. Like, yeah, it's just such an easy way to like
Ask me
confirm
anything, yeah.
something quickly rather than like going to an actual encyclopedia.
I mean, I'm not perfect with like everything. Like the numbers I get mixed up on, but like I
No
can
one's
give you I can
perfect.
give you a decent ballpark. Yeah.
But you're pretty damn.
You're
close.
better than us, man. That's for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, you're
And
you're
way
great
better than
with them.
Nux.
Well, Nux is
Nux not even here, so.
Nux is Nux.
Oh yeah. By the way, Nux couldn't make it because he's traveling today. So he
Yes.
definitely wanted to be here for these chapters, but he couldn't make it. So.
He's heading to where is he heading? Jupiter or is he heading to Saturn this week?
I think he's visiting and
Wherever the One Piece is.
Yeah, he's journeying the stars. Yeah. Oh, Nux is an alien. I don't know if anybody knew that. I don't know if I should be revealing
He
that.
does
I mean,
look like an alien.
Look at his
avatar.
his eyes and skin, bro.
Nux arrived on this planet 5 years ago and became a YouTube sensation. Like that's whatever.
He's like, I came to this planet to destroy it, and then I got clout.
And then I read One Piece, and I decided it was worth saving.
At least until the end of One Piece, for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, awesome guys. Thank you,
All right.
Decking, Golden, and
Thanks for having
Briggs.
me on.
It's been a pleasure. One Piece version will be back in a few chapters when we see how things go. And in the meantime, check out the Naruto version, which goes on almost every other week. And until next time, see you, Space Cowboys.
Bang.
Dang.